This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This your boy Black Magus, and sorry for my voice crack. I have a cold, so my voice is probably going to crack a little bit in between of these recordings, so apologies if you hear one during the time where I have this cold. Anyway, so saw an interesting thing, an article that came up this week where the homeowner of Facebook made mention, let me scroll up to see his name. His name is Chris Hughes. He's the co-founder of Facebook. He started Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg, and he put out a statement where he suggested that we need to start breaking up social media monopolies such as Facebook. He feels like Facebook basically has too much control in the social media industry, and we need to break up companies like that so we can get more innovation and have a lot more competition within the social media market, because Facebook is basically just controlling everything. Now, to be fair, Facebook does own Instagram. They own WhatsApp, which, Instagram being a app in which people can post pictures and small video clips to share with people, and WhatsApp basically a communication type of app where people can communicate between each other, share files and documents, things like that. So apparently this guy feels like Mark Zuckerberg now has a monopoly, like owns the lion's share of the social media landscape. Mind you, there are still social media apps that are out there that Facebook doesn't own. I guess the issue is that when you think about some of the most popular ones, like for picture sharing, Instagram definitely is. WhatsApp, I don't know where its space is. I personally don't use it much. I know people who do use it. I've used it for a class and it was like, it's cool, but it's not the end all be all. And like Facebook, to me, I feel like people who use it generally use it just to stay in touch with people they know. It's not like a big, huge part of the social media landscape to me. At least for me, if it's not Twitter, I don't really do much social media wise, and I feel like Twitter is the actual social media monster, to be quite honest. Facebook's, I guess, has its cool merits and all that, but I don't feel like it dominates the social media landscape, which makes me wonder, why is he saying this and that we need to break up this quote-unquote monopoly? Maybe it's just me not actually seeing the dynamics from the viewpoint that he sees, because he feels like it's really killing innovation within social media. And me personally, I just don't see that. Social media is such a fluid, habitual thing, and what I mean by that is the fluidity comes from the fact that people find something that they like, and they flock to it. So it fluidly, like if it's something that is considered very cool by the majority, most people tend to go to that, so you get the steady flow. The habitual thing is, for some, if they're more comfortable with it, they use it the most. Like, there's no limit onto what you can use or how you can utilize it. Again, WhatsApp's not the only thing, because there's stuff like Periscope, which mimics Facebook's video live feed. I'm sorry, I think, maybe they bought Periscope. I don't know, I forget, but I see people still doing stuff like that. So maybe it's that Facebook is buying all these individual things, but I don't know. It's just weird to me. If anybody, let me know who owns Periscope, because I see Twitter has something like that, and I feel like Twitter actually owns Periscope. But You get Facebook Live, you have Twitter Live, and as far as I know, Periscope is still its own individual entity. You know, I just feel like someone could always come up with something similar, but does certain aspects better and take things out. It's just like when Vine was a big thing. Vine was very, very big. I think Vine basically shut down, not because people didn't care about it, but because they just couldn't maintain it. But you can get the Vines. Things like Tumblr still exist. MySpace, it went to war with Facebook, and while Facebook is the most popular, MySpace still exists in some form, and people still utilize it. Things come and go. It's cyclical. I think that's the biggest thing about social media that I have a hard time feeling that it could be monopolized, is that it's generally a cyclical thing, like most things on the internet. Not most things on the internet don't maintain as the at the top all the time. Like even now, if you think about Facebook, think about how you used to use Facebook when you were younger or years ago as opposed to now. A lot of people don't utilize Facebook as much or the way that they did before, because you have Twitter and other things that have come by that has drawn the attention of social media users. So I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's very, very hard for me to feel like this is an issue, because with most things that are predicated on the internet, they tend to work themselves out. It's just like now you get the rumblings with YouTube and YouTube's policies and things like that, and people are mad mostly because they're content creators. They're not able to take advantage of a free service, which, by the way, it's one of the arguments that I have a weird time making, because while I have issues with YouTube's policies and the way they've made it harder for people to make revenue, I still realize that this is a free service that I don't have to buy into like some other servers. Like with SoundCloud, me doing podcasts, if I want to post my podcast on SoundCloud, I'm limited for the free account and I have to pay extra for them to host stuff. Whereas YouTube, I got over 1,000 videos on YouTube, and that's after deleting probably another 1,000 videos over the last 5, 6, 7 years of me doing YouTube videos on and off. They've never asked me for anything. They get a cut if I make enough revenue with views and stuff like that, but that's it. And it's not like it's money that I generate. It's not like I went out and I procured the advertisers in order for me to monetize my stuff. YouTube is presenting my stuff to people and saying, hey, this will be a good demographic off of this video for you to advertise on. You'll make money off of, and they'll generate you ad money, revenue and things like that. So while their policies do seemingly suck, you're still doing this shit for fucking free and making money off of it. So as long as you're bringing in enough views to do so. So it's like, I don't understand the argument for social media monopolies, because again, even with YouTube, people have gone to other places to do stuff. Like with Twitch, people complaining about Twitch being harder because of so many other people, but you got Mixer and you have other things coming up. Some of them don't survive, some of them do. It all depends on whether or not people find them engaging and interesting enough to invest in. And that's the thing. Things on the internet tend to work themselves out a lot easier than regular companies. Like, it was hard to get rid of AT&T because AT&T basically was providing a service that was locked in. These social media things are more of an entertainment media, and it's all depending on mood. I mean, shit, Vine was the shit to a lot of people for a couple of years, and Vine is fucking gone. Vine didn't do anything. They didn't really change up or switch up or make things harder for people. At least not that I could recall. But Vine disappeared because, I guess, poor business management or whatever. They couldn't maintain themselves. It just didn't make it. Same thing with stuff like Black Planet. Eventually people gravitated off of that. It stopped People stopped caring about an African American centric website and started to use other social media to fulfill their needs. You know, there was also a Latin version that was similar to Black Planet that disappeared. A lot of people forget. Again, MySpace. MySpace was the biggest thing on earth at one point, but it just faded out of memory. Not because Facebook was doing something to necessarily outdo it, but people just got tired of it. You know? So it happens. It really, really happens. Social media is a business where it's all about the popularity of the landscape and how long it can last. Eventually people can get sick and tired of things and move on to another platform. Twitter, Facebook, all those things, they're not necessarily guaranteed to last forever and be a thing. You know, so I don't know, but I'm curious to know what you guys think about social media monopolies and whether or not this is something that needs to be addressed by the government, like the AT&T monopolizing phone services for people, you know, across the nation, basically buying up all the phone companies and owning the majority of the phone companies in the country. Like, I feel like someone can come up with an innovative social media platform that's different and more appealing than Facebook and thrive a lot easier than it is to try to make your own like utility company and compete with whoever is the biggest. It's like it's hard to compete with Comcast because Comcast is everywhere. So if you're trying to be a local or a new business and getting into it, you're coming in against somebody who has the majority of the landscape already, and it's a service that everybody want and are a little bit more reluctant to try. People will try new things on the internet, and if it's very, very appealing, they'll word of mouth will spread, they'll flock to it, and whatever the like last year's flavor was will go away. I think that's the thing. Facebook may sustain off of a little bit more familiarity than most things sustain, but I guarantee you it could be knocked off the block without government regulation. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Please let me know, and maybe you can give me some insight as to why I'm wrong and something that I can understand and agree upon. Anyway, as always, you guys feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Blak Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.